Separation anxiety is a super common issue in a lot of dogs, and it can often seem helpless to you if your separation anxiety riddled dog becomes so bad that you feel like you can't even leave the house anymore. Thankfully, there's a few steps you can take to ease your dog's separation anxiety and eventually bring it down from like 100 to close to a 0. The first thing you want to do to start repairing your dog's separation anxiety is to start doing mini practice sessions. Yes, every time you leave for work or school or real life things can count as practice sessions, but these are too advanced if you think of it in terms of like practice sessions. So instead you want to start with like 1-minute sessions, then 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute sessions, really quick sessions whenever you have the time. It becomes a lot easier for your dog to digest and become used to being alone if you start super small and let him celebrate those small wins and then move really slowly, incrementally longer. The other part of doing these mini sessions, and also actually when you do leave in real life, is to work out your dog right before you leave. If your dog enjoys fetch, for example, do a fetch session literally right before you leave the house. If your dog doesn't like fetch, you can go for a walk, go for a run. In general, a tired dog is a calmer dog, so being freshly exercised and tired is key when training your dog to be calm when they're alone. Also, during these mini sessions and when you leave in general, start counter conditioning training, and this is probably the most important part about fixing your dog's separation anxiety. Basically, you want to start rewiring your dog's emotional response to being alone. To do this, you want to start giving your dog something that they love every single time you leave, whether it's for 1 minute or if you have to go for a few hours. For example, with Mochi, whenever he's alone, even if it's for like 3 minutes, I always give him this high value thing, such as a frozen Kong with peanut butter in it or some cheese. And I've done this since he was a super young puppy, and let me tell you, it works. Like Mochi gets low-key happy when I leave the house because he gets these special rewards. And the key here also is to only give these rewards when you leave the house. So don't be giving your dog, a Kong with frozen peanut butter in it every single night when you're home, because that kind of defeats the purpose. You want to give them something extra special and something your dog loves every single time they're alone. By doing this, your dog has a positive emotional response to you leaving. It's like Pavlov's dog. When he hears that bell, the dog starts drooling. When your dog sees that you're leaving, he's like, oh yay, I get this reward. A bonus here is also if you could find something that lasts a little bit longer. So again, the Kong example is my favorite because it lasts Mochi probably like 10 to 15 minutes. And just occupying him with more time is always a plus when your dog is alone. The next thing you want to start doing with these mini practice sessions, and also when you actually leave, is to stop making a big deal out of you leaving. Dogs are super emotionally sensitive and in tune with your emotions. So when you leave and say goodbye super dramatically, your dog will kind of feed into that emotion as well and think, oh, I have to overreact as well. Instead, just walk out of your house like nothing, and your dog will also begin to think that it's nothing when you leave, especially if he gets that yummy reward also when you leave. And going off that point, start desensitizing your dog to cues of you leaving. Cues are often like actions and sounds, such as you picking up your car keys, or you walking around the house making sure all the windows are closed, or you checking that the oven's off. Your dog will quickly learn that these cues mean that you're about to leave, and this gives him time to kind of work himself up and get more anxious that you're about to leave, which is obviously really bad for separation anxiety. So what you can do to fix this is to do all these actions and cues throughout the day, but don't actually leave. So for example, you can go grab your car keys and then go check that the oven's off, and then put your keys back where they were and resume about your day inside the house, such as watching TV, whatever. Your dog will see this happening more and more and begin to think each time that, oh, just because mom grabs her keys doesn't mean she's necessarily leaving. Keep doing this whenever you can, because repetition is key in desensitization, and the more you do it, the more desensitized your dog will become. Something else you can do to fix your dog's separation anxiety is to crate train your dog. Crate training does not mean that you have to shove your dog in his crate, lock the door, and leave him in there while you're gone. Rather, it means that you basically train your dog to love their crate so that when you're gone, they can choose and opt to go into their crate if they please, to make them feel safe and settled and calm, because the crate serves as like a safe space. Dogs really like having like a small space to go into, like a mini cave, because that just makes them feel more secure. Think about how like a baby likes to be burritoed. Crate training and this process of making them love it is a whole different process, which I already have a video on, which will be linked in the description. What else you can do to help your dog who has separation anxiety overcome this anxiety is to leave some stuff out that smells like you. Scent is a huge part of dogs' lives and their emotional responses, so leaving maybe like a t-shirt of yours out for your dog to smell, or like a blanket, can do wonders for making your dog feel safe and secure when they're alone. Now that you know how to fix your dog's separation anxiety, check out our video on desensitization and counter conditioning, 2 methods I talked about in this video, linked here on the screen.